Good morning guys, it's Chris the Ultimate Recycler, and today brings more rain. We've had constant heavy rain overnight. You might be able to hear it on the roof. We've had just over 40 millimetres, so not far off 2 inches in the old scale. Or getting there, and I'm sure we'll top it the way the weather's looking. So it's Monday. We had a really busy weekend in the shop, which is great. Any regulars will certainly be aware of the recent news about our shop having to close. Major life upheaval. But we're not sad about it, and I read through all the comments. I tried to answer all your comments, and keep asking questions on these videos, because I'll try and address them in the videos as well as answer them in the comments. A lot of people said, you know, how sad it was for us and everything. Well, and certainly the town, and it is. I actually feel sad for the town. Even the charity shop, they will probably take all their electrical stuff out to the transfer station as e-waste now. So, you know, I guess you've got to be sad for the environment. We just can't save as much as we used to, not without the shop. But hold on, we probably still have, and I know I'm more optimistic than Christine is, but I reckon we still have about 12 months in the shop, maybe longer. Now, at least 6 months, well, actually at least 7.5 months, because the auction's not for a month and a half, and the owners told me they'll be looking for at least a 6-month settlement time, because they've got a lot to clean up. So that leaves us with a lot of time to process things. There's no need to panic. We are good at dealing with this sort of situation. We're professional cleaners. Well, not cleaners as such. We're professional junk removers, house cleaner outers, shed emptiers, all those particular terms. This doesn't stress me at all. In fact, I've done a lot bigger jobs than this in a lot shorter time. And those of you that were around on the channel to see the old shop clean out, the backyard, the shop, the house where I used to live, all in about 3 months, with a shoulder that needed surgery, that was pressure, and I still did it, and I'm very proud of that achievement, and I think I surprised a lot of people. But anyway, this one isn't so much of a drama. We've already made good inroads. I've been getting some stuff out of the storeroom in the shed, and we'll duck down to the shop shortly and have a look. And also I'll probably have to empty the tubs, because I'm sure that roof will be leaking. I've also got a job this morning to go and help my daughters move furniture out of their cafe. They're finishing up at the cafe. They've been there about 3 years. They actually took over the lease in 22, and about a week after we had major floods on the Goulburn, and the whole park was inundated. It was I was going to say catastrophic. It was a disastrous event. And the girls didn't get back into the cafe for almost 12 months. The park took a long time to get back up. So it'd be rather ironic if the week after they leave, there's another big flood. Even though there's a lot of flooding from the rain, just from the heaviness of the rain, the constant large totals, we're not getting the massive totals in the catchment area. So I don't think the river will flood. Anyway, I've got to do that this morning. I have emptied the van. I'll go up and show you on the deck what I've taken out of the van. We'll have to process that as well. And I've been working in the shed this morning. It's just after 9 AM, and I've already fixed a couple of things from last week's e-waste. But as I said, I won't be picking up e-waste from the charity shop anymore, and I won't be letting people drop it off at the shop either. We're getting quite good at saying no. It's handy having the auction signs there, because we just point to the sign and say we just can't take any more. We've got enough stuff to last us a lifetime, and we will probably be out of the shop at some stage soon. Anyway, here's what I've been doing today, and then we'll have a look, well, this morning, and then we'll have a look on the deck. And Coco's not overly happy about the rain. She didn't get her walk this morning. Never mind, Coco, maybe this evening, maybe not, it might be still wet. She did get an extra bone to eat. So I've just cleaned up this little mini hi-fi system. It's a CD player radio, and it works really well, but it had issues. I had to take the back off it, clean this switch with deoxit and also the volume control, and it now works really well. So that was in the e-waste from the charity shop. We've saved that. I think I'll probably get $20, $25 for that. I'll put that in the shop on Friday. Still got a couple of other appliances to go through, but I won't have these hauls every week now to slow me up. I mean, I enjoyed going through it. I enjoyed saving stuff, but now that that stops, I'll have a lot more time to do unboxings for you guys and clean out the shop area as well. We will be continuing our series on the emergency storage shed clean out, and we'll be working along that top shelf. You can see we've made a fair bit of space on that shelf now. So the next episode we'll be testing those monitors. One's a monitor, one's a TV. And so we'll continue this every week regardless of everything else that happens. And as I get through here, I'll be feeding stuff into the shop. A few suggested another emergency storage shed for all the stuff at the shop. but we don't have to get out that quickly. It's not quite that urgent. Besides, look at my yard. We have a bit of lawn, we have a garden. We don't really have much more space for another emergency storage shed. As you can see, it's quite wet out here. And Christine is considering, and we may have to do it in the front yard, putting some sort of pod or hobby room somewhere so that she can continue doing her alterations, and her sewing room's really not big enough. Plus, if she does alterations for the townspeople, we don't really want them coming into the house. So that will take up a bit more space, but we do have a bit of space in the front yard. I'm not sure on the legalities and permits involved, but we have to check that out. Right, let's run up to the deck without getting too wet. I might as well keep filming. Put your hoodies on, guys. Don't want to mess up that new hairdo. Okay, laptops. All these laptops came from the local school. They were in the van. I have to deal with them. They look like they're all the same model. They're Aces. So I don't know if there's going to be a market for them. I don't think I'll be spending the time scrapping them out. We will investigate and work out what we can do with those. Maybe they'll all boot up and I can reformat them and sell them in bulk lots. Or I could just dump the whole lot, as I think eWaste Ben still buys laptops at something like $1 a kilo, but geez, there's probably $100 there. Also got 3 servers, which I will scrap out. There's lots of RAM sticks and CPUs and stuff in there that I can sell. And a few tubs that came from the shop out of my storeroom. Just random electrical bits that I have to go through and process. So I shall be doing that in my shed probably, maybe a bit this afternoon. We'll see how we go. The deck has stayed reasonably dry because the rain hasn't been super heavy. We haven't had storms as such, so it's staying nice and dry. And even though we have had a lot of rain, and the little modification I made to the spout here has been working fine. It's only when we get super heavy rain that it can't cope. But I like days like this, and the countryside will certainly benefit from a good soaking, as will our veggie garden, and I'm sure the weeds will love it too. The lawn's looking good. I should have mowed it when it was dry the other day. A few other comments in the last video talked about the possibility of getting another shop, or maybe even continuing to lease our shop off a potential buyer for at least a while before the site's developed, assuming it will sell to a developer. Those options are all off the table, and I'll explain why. Even though I'm happy to finish up after 23 years of trading in second-hand goods in Nagambie, I thought I probably would be happy to do another 10 years. I mean, I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like a job. Christine's much the same. But we're happy enough with what's going on because the decision's made for us. And so to actively then go and find another shop and then move everything and set up again, and then you have complications of your regular people from 20 odd years can't find you and all that sort of stuff. The main issue though is the actual outgoings, the expense. We would never find another shop big enough for a start. It's only a small town here and there is a lack of retail outlets. But the main thing really is the costs of a lease. To lock ourselves into a lease is one thing, but to pay the going rate for a retail premises in town at the moment would be way out of our means for a weekend shop. We've been really fortunate that our landlords have been fantastic. It was a handshake agreement. We didn't have any set lease. We were paying a lot less, and I mean a lot less than what we should be for a retail space that size. And even a developer that came in and said you can stay there for another 2 years would not give us the same rate that we were paying. So it just wouldn't be viable to run our shop unless we worked 6 days a week, and we don't want to dive back into that much, that workload. For a start, our YouTube videos would suffer. We spend more time working on YouTube than we do at the shop. So we're just going to switch to that mode. As far as selling the stuff, yes, the shop's disappointing. It'll be disappointing not to have the shop to get rid of all my low value stuff. If we do buy a deceased estate or clean out someone's shed, a lot of the average stuff used to go through the shop. So what do we do with it then? Do we have a garage sale? We have talked about doing a market store once a month. So it's possible we could still do some deals down the track, particularly if there wasn't a lot of junk or low value stuff. But as far as the present goes, we're happy to wind up the shop. We're happy to actually not do a major retail outlet. with all the ongoing expenses and commitment. You know, all our table tennis tournaments are on weekends, so we've got to pay wages to go away, and we'll enjoy the freedom of not having that obligation, you know, to have the shop open. You don't want to disappoint clients. I've had customers and regular tourists through this area drive for hours, even out of their road, to come and see me on the way somewhere. Okay, I think that's all. By all means, as I said, keep asking questions, making comments, and I'll address them as we go. My videos will just be a continued day in the life of, as we sort stuff. We'll be doing a lot of unboxings. There's some pretty cool stuff at the store shed at the shop, and we'll take you there shortly. At the shop now, and the rain is getting slightly heavier, and the radar shows that it's actually going to be extremely heavy coming up soon, so we are going to have some flooding issues in the shop. You can see it's pretty full when it's packed up, because all the aisles are full with all our trolleys that we put out the front. So we do own a lot of stuff. But we had a good weekend, as I mentioned. We did move a lot, and in fact I told you I was going to price all our cabinets. We did put prices on them all. Not super expensive, but we didn't want to give them away, and we have actually sold that one already. It's been picked up next weekend. So we will be starting to juggle stock and empty shelves and things out of the storeroom to bring them in. We'll put 100 on that one. It's a really nice arts and crafts style. Even though it's painted white, it's nice solid timber. It's probably oak. And some of the nicer cabinets like that one in there, I think we put 450 on, which is still pretty cheap if someone's looking for a nice display cabinet. No leaks in this corner that I can see. Everything looks okay there. And most of this side of the shop's pretty good. I don't expect any water issues around here. The only spot is the front tub right in the corner here. And even though we've had almost a couple of inches, we might nearly be at 2 inches by now, that one's fine. So I don't think we need to worry about that, although when the rain gets very heavy, possibly. But more of the issue is the back storeroom and the kitchen. And if you haven't seen my shop, I'm sure your eyes are going everywhere. There's a lot of stuff in here. Most of the books we probably won't worry about discount or anything. We might just move them out to the book exchange in lots. They don't owe us anything. We're happy to pass them on. So, I've got stuff under here too. I've got circuit boards and a lot of stuff for scrap, which will go home and I'll be consolidated into tubs, and then I'll take them to Melbourne and sell them. Okay, through the kitchen here, our buckets are, okay, that one's full to the top. The next one's half full. Not so much in these other ones. So, and you can see the floor is pretty wet, and the blue tub up on the bench here is been overflowing. So I have the power off in case you didn't see my last video. I don't leave power to that corner when we're not here because I know the roof leaks badly. So yeah, it's been dripping through, and if the rain gets heavy shortly, it's going to be, well, I'm not going to come here and stand here and empty buckets. It'll just have to flood. I think it eventually goes out the wall back in near the toilet. I've never seen it get over this side before, and if it does, well, we can't do much about it. I'm not going to waste my day just sitting here. My storeroom through here, what have we got? Oh, not very much. A little bit in that one. Oh, that one you probably can't tell on the camera. There's probably a couple of inches in the bottom of that one. The floor's obviously wet, and the tub up on the power box is fine. But if we get heavy rain, it will power through here like a waterfall. And once the tubs are full, it will just flow out on the ground. Now, I've made some progress around the back of the store shed. This front section where the milk crates are, that's fine. In fact, the milk crates have bottles in them, so it's not going to hurt the bottles. And all the cabinets are up off the floor a little bit, the shelf units. But if we go around this other side, I did make some room here when I was at the shop yesterday and a little bit on Saturday. And we can get right through here now, so if the water flows across here, it's not so much of a problem. And I've actually almost emptied these shelves of all the jars, and I've just put a few things up here to stop them getting wet. But all the jars of hardware there were, I should have shown you in the shed corner. I'll go and have a look in a minute, but I've cleaned them all up, so we have made some progress. And you can get through here now, even though it's quite dark. You probably can't see a thing. There's only a few tubs and buckets in there, back round to the other side where the waterfall is. So we don't have too much of a problem with flooding here now, at least as far as damage to my stuff goes. And here's some of the stock after sorting out jars of hardware yesterday. Minimum $5 per jar, some are 10. The brass screws I put 15 on. So, and I'll move all the jars I've got at home as I sort more stuff. I'll bring them into the shop because they do sell well here. I don't know how that would go at a market. You know, if we do a market, once we're finished with the shop, maybe I'll try them and see if hardware sells. Because if I can get rid of that sort of stuff for a reasonable return, it might be worth my while to keep collecting e-waste. Okay, so just before I go, I'll empty the tubs in the kitchen, and fingers crossed we don't get too much pour through the roof. It's just gone 10 o'clock. The op shop is just about to open. I've got to go and tell the ladies, break the news that I won't be taking their e-waste anymore. I'm sure they'll be disappointed, but we have to stop that. That's a flood of electrical stuff that I just cannot cope with at the moment because we have all this to do. Might get back into it later on, who knows. We'll have to just address that when the time's right. I think I might tell them if they get any boom boxes in, I'll take them. What do you think? And now we make it out to the cafe along the edge of the Goulburn River in a large caravan park complex, and it's been a great business for the girls here. The lease is up this week, so they're finishing up because they have bigger and better things to go to. They've taken over the lease on a kitchen in a large reception centre for much better, more potential for their business. But we're all sad to leave this cafe. It's been a wonderful spot. The boat there is the Goulburn Explorer, and you can charter that for trips up and down the river. It's a real asset to the town. But when the place flooded back in 2022, the water was as high as the top of that boat, and it flooded right over the bank there. And they've actually now put all the cabins up on stilts, so I couldn't quite see them from where I was. But look at the top of the boat, and that put the water about 2 foot high through the main cafe. So it was a real drama at the time. Anyway, where they're going, they won't have to worry about floods anymore. And now here we are back in the workshop this evening. We ended up not moving the tables from the cafe because the rain just got persistently annoying. It was heavy and it was non-stop. So we'll do that in the morning. I'll take the van out in the morning. We did pack up a lot of the other stuff and disconnected the coffee machine and that sort of stuff. So that was good. Got that job ticked off the list. Just have to move the tables. The rain persisted till about 3 o'clock, and we ended up with 62 mil. I think that's about 2.5 inches. So a really, really big rain, certainly for this area. It's flat cropping land and farming land. And whilst the river doesn't flood, a lot of the low areas just become lakes. But that's all right. It's been an unusual event. The rest of the week's forecast to be fairly dry, so that's good. We'll get a lot more work done. I'll get back to the shop. Hopefully we don't have to have the tubs out for a long time yet. And we'll start packing up some of the store shed there. So next video, I think we'll do an episode of the emergency storage shed. And then I'll be straight into unboxing stuff and sorting out that storeroom at the shop. I still want to keep going with a little bit here, but the stuff around my workshop here doesn't seem as important now as getting the volume of stuff out of the shop, as you would appreciate. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. I look forward to reading all your comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.